Welcome back. This is the third episode of the Time Bets Poker Vlog. I'm Tyler, and this episode, as promised, has all the footage from the live stream that we got called for during the last episode. I had a lot of fun putting it together. It's been a long time coming, and I hope you enjoy it. Alright, let's get to it. We sit down with the $1,500 maximum, which is $500 more than the normal 2-5 maximum.
We have a new player in the 7th seat, I believe. 6th seat.
After a warm welcome from the table, we're running a bit card dead, so we take the time to get a feel for all the players. Most players are playing fairly tight, except for one player who stands out. The first playable hand we get dealt is Ace-9 off in the cutoff. With one limper and the straddle on, I open to 45. It folds around to under the gun +1, and he makes the call. The flop comes very dry with two kings. Ricky checks to me, and I c-bet on the smaller size for 25. It's too much for Ricky, and he lays it down. Not a very exciting hand, but it's nice to get a pot to slide our way on the live stream. We fold around for about 2 orbits. Still fairly card dead and haven't seen many playable hands, especially versus these players' tight ranges. Usually, most players playing on live streams have a super tight range. There's the occasional degens who love the action, and when these players are playing, it makes for some great entertainment. But this table seems to be on the tighter side. I played on a live stream in the past where there were any two card type players. It was extremely entertaining, and I'm looking forward to analyzing that session in the future. In the next hand, we play a $25 bomb pot. If you don't know what these are, all players have to put in $25 before the flop, no matter what two cards they're dealt. It's kind of like everyone is the big blind, and the big blind is $25. You can imagine my excitement when I look down at a premium hand, Ace-Queen suited under the gun +2. The flop comes 4-5 Jack with one club. It checks to me, and I bet 75. Curtis on our left puts in a raise, which indicates he most likely smashed this flop with 2 pair sets or possibly open-ended straight draw hands. It folds around to me, and we decide to peel another card just in case we turn some equity to earn overcard. Turn comes a 5, pairing the board. I check, Curtis checks. The river comes a king, we check to our opponent, and he flips over Jack-4 offsuit for a flop 2 pair. He was counterfeited on the turn, but he was still good on the river and takes it down. In the next hand, we're on the button with a $10 straddle in play. Curtis in the small blind opens for 35. Seeing this is a straddle pot with the entire table to act behind, this indicates he's in the very top of his range, but it also caps his range to those premium hands only. The big blind calls, middle position calls, and I defend my straddle with King-3 offsuit.
As soon as I ask the question and give an answer, they go Adonis. That was updated in 2019. All right, time to just...
The flop comes King-9-4 rainbow, giving us top pair, but a horrible kicker. Small blind checks, which either could be a trap or he has an underpair to the king. Danimal takes this opportunity in the big blind to bet 85, taking advantage of the small blind's check. But he definitely could be falling into the small blind's trap. Middle position folds, and we flat to see what the small blind does. If he puts in the raise, we'll likely let our top pair go. Fortunately for us, Curtis in the small blind mucks his hand. You can see from the graphics he had Ace-Queen. The turn comes another king, improving our hand to trips. Danimal leads.
He's going to give him the Hollywood, look up like he hates it.
For 175, which is slightly on the heavier side. We hem and haw with the Hollywood performance, just like the announcer says.
Yeah, gave him the old sigh and look up and then just flats. Oh, I guess.
The river comes a queen of hearts. Danimal falls right into the trap and decides to lead again for 350. I think about it for a minute, whether I should put in a raise or just flat call. I'm never folding in this spot, but it would suck if he has me out kicked because I lose the king 10 or better. We decide on the flat call to not get ourselves in trouble, and Danimal quickly flips over his hand. I learn a ton about his playstyle. He flatted with pocket sixes out of position, then led the king high flop out of position with an underpair. This is extremely important information, which shows that he will overplay a hand when he's behind. We take down a decent pot, putting us up over 500 on the live stream. In the next hand, we're dealt 8-5 suited in the big blind. Curtis, sitting under the gun, opens at $20 since there isn't a straddle on this hand. The two highest VPIP players at the table, Danimal and Ricky, both make the call, along with the small blind on my right. I decide to defend with a 5-1 price with my suited hand.
Oh yes, we'll give you stats after this hand. I'll give you all the stats you want.
The flop comes 8-3-3, giving us top pair in a 5-way pot. It checks through, indicating we most likely have the best hand. The only player I would put on a 3 would be the small blind, since he had such a good price to call, just like I did with any 2. The turn comes a deuce of diamonds, still leaving us with top pair. This time I elect to bet $60 to protect my hand from overcards, and if there are any flush draws, we don't let them see the river for free. Everyone folds except for Danimal, who makes the call. We go heads up to the river. The river comes a 6, which does give 4-5 the straight, but the flush doesn't get there. It's likely I still have the best hand. I lead for $80, and then Danimal puts in a sizable raise, just under 3x for $225. I think about it for a while, and run all the scenarios through my head. I think about how many 3s could be in his range, or if he could have any overpairs in this situation. Based on the hands I saw him play previously, I think there's no way he has an overpair. He could have a boat, but I also think it's not likely, seeing how he played his pocket sixes when he was behind previously. I decide to throw in the chips for a call, see if I can catch a bluff. He flips over his hand, and we get the bad news. He shows ace-3 of diamonds for flop trips. We lose a sizable pot where we should have been able to get away on the river. Versus most players, I probably would have folded. But from my observations in previous hands, watching Danimal bluff multiple times, I just couldn't make the laydown. 2 hands later, we're dealt king-jack suited on the button with the straddle on. Danimal opens a 35, which is pretty small seeing that there's a straddle on. He gets 2 colors, and rather than flatting, seeing this hand smashes the top of my range in this situation, I elect on a 3-bet for 160. Looking back, I think I would size up even bigger because of the 2 callers in the pot. I would probably go to 2x the pot, which would be more around $200. If Danimal did call, it could trigger the other 2 players to call, which would put us in a really bad spot post-flop, not knowing what we're up against. In the end, everyone ends up folding, and we take this one down pre-flop. You can see some stats here. Ricky is a top V-Pit player, followed closely by Danimal. I didn't really get to see Ricky play too much. I think these stats come from earlier in the session where I wasn't at the table yet. And obviously, we don't get to see these stats as we're sitting there playing. I did see Ricky get busted right when I first sat down, so he may have slowed down after he busted. I have a feel, though, for this when I'm sitting at the table, and I think this is an important thing to note for future sessions, to pay attention to how many hands someone's playing. It indicates that they're typically a novice player and they could potentially be putting themselves in situations post-flop that they should never be in because they're just playing too many hands. Noticing this, it does dictate some of my play for the rest of the night. We're dealt Jack 7 off in the cutoff. The button has a straddle on, Danimal in the small blind flat, Ricky flats again, I make the flat call, the button checks, and we go 4 ways to a flop. The only one I'm slightly concerned about is Curtis on my left. Danimal leads again for 25, Ricky folds, and I decide I want to isolate Danimal, get any under pairs or weak draws to fold the button, so I raise 75.
Scotty, you're going to be in town with President's Day on Monday. You'll be in Jax from tomorrow night through the 21st. Yes.
The turn comes a 5 of clubs, which brings 2 flush draws on the board. Danimal checks the turn, and I check back for pot control, in case I'm up against an ace or a bigger jack. The river comes a brick, and Danimal starts to Hollywood a little bit, putting his chips out like he wants to bet, counting them. But then he ends up checking. In my mind, I'm thinking this is a tell where he's weak. I think it's probably not likely I'm up against an ace or a flush, but I could be up against a better jack. I decide to make it very expensive for any marginal hands to call and see if my read is correct. I bet almost full pot, and Danimal quickly mucks, proving my theory. He was not strong at all, and he just wanted to get to a free showdown. The floor comes over and announces we're down to the last 3 hands of the night.
He had 3 hands left. He said, let's get loose.
I'm on the button again with a $10 straddle in play. Danimal in the big blind opens to 45 this time, which is larger than the 35 open in the last straddle pot. This indicates he's most likely higher up in his range, and it's good for us to note at this point in the hand. Probably something like a suited ace or a pocket pair, seeing how we've seen him overplay both these type of hands so far. Angel, under the gun, who's played super tight so far from what I've seen, makes the flat call, with all the players to act behind, and making the flat call in this spot usually indicates you have a pretty strong hand. It folds to me with 9-7 suited, and getting 3-1 on the call, I decide my hand is defendable. I throw out the chips, and we go 3 ways to a flop. The flop comes queen high with 2 spades. Danimal leads for 85. Angel, who is the one who I was worried about, quickly gets out of the way. I decide with my flush draw in this spot I need to put in a raise, seeing that Danimal has played most of his strong hands passively and his weak hands aggressively so far. I choose a sizing of around 2.5 times his bet. Danimal goes into the tank for a while. This shows me my read was spot on. He's definitely weak here. He doesn't have an overpair, a queen, sets, or high flush draws. I keep his range on a non-spade ace or underpair. He agonizes for some time, making me think he's going to throw it away.
How much did Danimal make it? 80?
I don't think you flat with ace queen with the spades here.
Yeah, I'm calling.
One takeaway I do have from this hand is when I get such a good read on a player, I need to play even more aggressive than I did here. I need to be putting in at least a
I think I fold this here, Donnie. Now he's already got 100 in the pot, so or 100 in the middle. So peeling one more here.
He eventually makes the flat call, and we go to a turn.
If this is a jack of spades, you are golden.
I'm gonna need. He's definitely gonna want to.
I mean, jack of clubs.
The turn comes a jack of clubs, improving my hand to a gut shot, straight, and the flush draw. He checks, so I assume he shut down on the turn.
Holy cow!
I take a quick peek at Danimal's stack, which from my angle appears to only be about 800 left. With my improved equity, I go for an overbet, put him in a tough spot. He will likely lay down ace-jack, or worse, one pair hands to the overbet shove, giving me substantial fold equity, even if I'm behind. Anyway, I think it's best if you watch it live to get the full experience.
That's gonna give Tyler the gutter and the flush draw now. He just said all in and call.
It was at this moment that he knew. He fucked up.
Oh my
What are you
God.
doing?
That is the sickest card in the world.
Wait, hold up. They're so. How much? What?
Oh my goodness.
As you can see by the stone-cold look on my face, I was not expecting to see a set of jacks. I'm in just as much disbelief as the announcers that I shoved being so deep. As Danimal's pulling out his chips, I notice there's another green stack behind the one that was in the front. In this situation, I definitely should have asked to see his chips. The dealer counts it out, and we get the bad news. He had me covered, and I effectively jammed for $1,300 in a pot of only $600. The $500 I thought was coming back to me in worst case scenario was never coming back. This is a brutal way to end the session. We punted off our entire $1,500 buy-in, and fortunately we crushed it earlier in episode 2, or this might have ended our Florida trip right here. Luckily we still have enough in our bankroll to keep this rag going.
Y'all got to wait. He's gone. He
gone.
faded away. He faded into the night.
Oh my gosh.
Alright everyone, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed watching me punt off 1500 with 9-7 live on the internet, I've got a lot more wild sessions from this Florida trip that I can't wait to share. The next episode, we'll be playing at the other Best Bet location in Orange Park, Florida. It's a little smaller room, but we find ourselves in a great game. Look out for it, it should be uploaded soon. If you want to watch the last hand in full, I've added the full uncut video and the live chat as bonus footage after this episode. Anyways, good luck at the tables, and see you in the next episode.
Dude, I mean, he had 3 hands left. He said, let's get loose.
Different. That's not. This is the experience. Like, yeah.
And it seems
playing
like
with
the
chips.
algorithms are never good. The
Yeah,
runouts
that's what
are
they all
just
say.
insane. You know? You're just like, really? Okay. Quads over quads. Yeah, that happens.
Yeah. It happens every single day.
Yeah.
Jordan, I'm uncomfortable.
Oh, you just got the money card on the
What
right,
is-
right.
Yeah, right. Yep.
What is this?
I saw one on YouTube. He's like, this chip is rigged. He goes all in with kings, 2 calls,
I'm like, what just happened? What is going on?
Uh-oh, Danimal picking up McJiggity's here in the hole.
He says, let's make the last 3 hands fun.
Yeah, 45 on it. Angel here with the ace-10 is going to, I assume, make a call. She's out of position, but ace-10, not a bad starting hand here. So with a few hands to go, I see her flatting this. A bunch of hands going around the muck here. Tyler, who straddled, is going to defend on the button with the 9-7 suited. Go 3 ways to a flop here. Queen high flop, 2 spades. So Tyler flops the flush draw. Danimal with jacks are still good here. Queen on the board though is not going to stop him. Angel puts ace-10 in the muck before he gets the bet out, and let's see if Tyler wants to make a call here with the flush draw, and he's gonna.
I mean, he could turn.
Oh, he's raising here, Donnie.
He could turn a lot of backdoor equity too. Like, you know, he could turn some backdoor straight draws. Front door flush draw could come right on in. Yeah, I like this. I like this race.
Oh man, you hate to fold jacks, but this is going right in the muck here, Donnie.
No, not yet.
You don't think so?
Yeah, we gotta peel one. We gotta peel one.
I guess you already have half this bet in the pot. You might as well peel one more, I suppose.
Yeah, no, it smells like a draw. Like, that didn't look like ace queen to me.
It kind of smells like ace queen to me.
No.
You don't think so?
Nah.
I mean, you're not just
Wait,
flatting.
he made it 215?
You're not gonna flat there with ace queen with the spade draw.
How much did Danimal make it?
80. I don't think you flat with ace queen with the spades here.
Yeah, no, I'm calling. I would call.
I think Danimal looks like he's on a spade draw, and Tyler just said, I got ace queen, so you want the spade, come get it. I think I fold this here, Donnie. Now, he's already got 100 in the pot, so, or 100 in the middle. So, peeling one more here isn't going to cost you too much more. You could peel a set. If this is a jack of spades, you are golden.
I'm gonna need. He's definitely gonna want to.
I mean, jack of clubs. What did I say?
Yeah, he's gonna want to fade all the spades. Holy crap!
Yeah, he gets the one card in the deck that he needed. Wow.
Holy crap!
Holy cow!
But guess what?
Holy cow!
Guess what? That's gonna give Tyler the gutter and the flush draw now. He just said all in and call.
Oh my
what are you
God.
doing?
That is the sickest card in the world.
Wait, hold up. They're so. How much? What?
Oh my goodness.
What was? How much was in the pot? Could he have? Was it right for him to just effectively move all in?
No.
They were playing extremely deep,
You
and
can't tip that.
he just snapped shoves for 1,300.
Oh my goodness.
No, I missed something.
No,
Chat,
you didn't.
Chat, please tell me I missed something.
Literally, Billy turned the only card in the deck.
What was? No, not
The
even that.
only card in the deck that Danimal wanted to see was the jack of clubs.
What was the pot size? He just rips it in for 1,300 effective on the
I
turn.
guarantee you, if I could get inside Danimal's head, he was saying jack of clubs, jack of clubs, jack of clubs, please jack of clubs. Bing.
I missed something. I had to have missed something. I need to know how much was in the pot on the turn. You don't just. I mean, there's no way you're just.
So the bet was 215 on the flop.
That's correct. So that means.
So 500 plus probably 600 in the pot.
And he just open rips for 1,300? Why?
He almost did.
Wow.
Y'all got to wait. He's gone? He
gone.
faded away. He faded into the night.
Oh my gosh. I literally said,
There's no way he has 9-10.
I said this has to be the jack of clubs and only the jack of clubs for Danimal. No sweat. Bing to one outer there on the turn.
There's no way you're raising on the flop with a gutter and then like
There's
makes
2
no
jacks
sense.
left in the deck, Donnie. The spade gives the guy the flush and you get murked. You have 1 card. And you hit your money card.
I just don't understand how you just open rip it.
But that was a weird move to rip it.
Of course it, because it's like only a flush draw, maybe a straight draw, maybe ace queen are raising.
I really want to take this.
Yeah.
And or like maybe okay, so either ace queen or like big combo draw raises you. But I don't think like gutter ball raises you and then just open rips for 1,300 into 6.
I don't think those graphics were wrong, Gary.
No, those graphics were very right. I just don't
He
understand.
turned the gutter to go with the flush draw and just said, I'm going to ship it here and pray.
Even then, just open, shoving $1,300 into a $600 pot? No. That's why he snapped him off.
Yeah, he snapped fast.
I mean, I don't, and honestly, Jordan, even if he didn't turn a set there, I think he could have snapped him off there. For putting 1,300 in the pot with six, like.
I don't think you can make that call if he doesn't hit that jack on the turn.
I'm with Rob Wilson. I got nothing. I don't know what you're saying.
I think if that turn is any other
Was that
card,
the last hand?
Oh
man!
If that turn is any other card in the deck, Danimal folds to any bet, I think.
No. So Gary, he flopped the flush draw and turned the gutter because the jack gave Danimal a set.
It was the jack of clubs,
and it gave Tyler the gutter to go with his flush.
There was 2 jacks left in the deck: the jack of clubs and the jack of spades. The jack of spades would have given Tyler the flush,
so he couldn't
hit that one because it would have made Tyler's hand. Instead, he hits the one outer, the jack of clubs, binks on the turn, hits set of jacks.
That's insane.
It gave Tyler the gut shot to go with the flush draw.
Hey man, y'all be good. Y'all have a good night.
Wow, that was a sick one to end.
I don't even really know. Y'all just come back tomorrow, same time, same place. We'll do this all over again, and I'll have a pleasure talking to you guys and having fun.
All I know is we got to get the Danimal back.
Danimal's got to come back.
Yeah, he's got to come back after this one. But he scoops a monster there at the end, and let's hit him with some stats on it, because I think that might have put Danimal over the top here.
It might have. Let's see.
I know Ivan was hanging around up there, and so was Jeff here, but Danimal, man, what a monster there. Puts him up the most here, 2100 up. Wow. Wow.
You could have just started the whole thing like that and just
I know.
been home.
So yeah, that is going to do it, man. Crazy hand to end with, guys. Pretty wild stuff there from Tyler. Just shipping it on the turn.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Yeah, that sounds good.
And Danimal, man, picks up a monster there to head out the door with. Wow. So
Thanks for making the trip.
thanks again for tuning in, guys. That was a fun end to the stream tonight. 2-5 deep stack on a Wednesday night, man. Wednesday night action here at Best Bet Jacksonville. What else could you need?
Yeah.
And that's going to be it. So we'll be right back tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Donnie and myself. We will see you then, guys. See y'all later.
That's a thing.